there's so much to do. There's never not something to do to be productive.
You know, they say roaches will be here after the apocalypse. I feel like that, and it's like, die. And I'm just like, nope, I'm never gonna die. Like, this passion of mine, it will not die.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a really special guest with us. Today we are filming with Tap. So I'm gonna cut between our Zoom chat and this camera. I'm sure all of you guys know Tap. Today we're gonna touch on a topic that I think is really important and a lot of people are gonna be having a lot of questions about during a time like this. I wanted to do this video with Tap because we are two really motivated, really inspired, really productive people that make sure we are always doing something and staying busy, especially during a time like this. I'm sure a lot of you have questions or are struggling with being inspired or motivated right now. So that's why I want to do this video with Tap, and let's just get right on into it. Oh, and we're also going to be doing our makeup and kind of getting ready with you guys. So it's more like a chit chat, get ready with me, really casual.
Okay, hi, how are you doing? How are you feeling during quarantine?
I mean, as good as you can be in a global pandemic.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like it's a time where it's really hard to come by inspiring yourself and like finding inspiration in anything. How have you been dealing with that? What would you say in general is like your biggest obstacle when it comes to procrastination?
Well, the first thing I would say is at the beginning of the whole quarantine thing, I'm like on day, I don't know, 50, 1100, I don't know. I was super motivated and super honestly excited. Obviously, I'm not happy that we're going through a pandemic, but I was really like, oh my God, I have more time to create, to do courses. Like I was doing everything, sis. I was doing online courses every day, doing my content. And then I feel like last week and this week, I kind of tapered off. I'm in the zone now where I feel a little bit like I'm fighting from becoming a zombie. Like I'm a little bit demotivated. I think the important thing to remember in this season and in life in general when it comes to procrastination is another P, which is purpose. First of all, you have to figure out why you're doing what you're doing. If you're just doing it because, oh, I want a lot of likes or I want validation from strangers, you're going to become discouraged and demotivated really quickly. So I think one of the number one things to keep you motivated is figuring out your why. What's the purpose of me doing this certain goal? What's the purpose of me working out for 7 days? Is it just because I want people to like me more or I want to look like this celebrity? You have to really look at why am I doing this? Because if it's for outside people, you're going to eventually kind of taper off and you're not going to feel motivated.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. Especially, firstly, I'm going to start putting on my makeup. This is the foundation I'm going to use.
Just go? Okay.
Yeah, just go. I totally agree with that. For example, with me and my YouTube channel, I started my YouTube channel obviously in quarantine in this whole weird time, but it was totally because I knew the reason why I wanted to do this. And that keeps me motivated every day. I was at a place in life where I needed to take control of the direction my life was headed. And I started obviously with the video you saw talking about a topic that was like really difficult for me to talk about, something super personal. But that purpose gave me all the motivation I needed to keep going, even though this time in particular is, for me, one of the hardest things that I've ever been through because I need like structure. I've spoken about this before. I need to know what my day consists of, what I have to get done. And so the fact that like that has been taken away from us, it's been really important for me to find my purpose because that's the only thing that's keeping me motivated every day when I wake up. To answer the initial question I asked, like what my biggest obstacle is when it comes to procrastination, I feel like the easiest thing when it comes to procrastinating is telling yourself reasons why now isn't the good time to do something. Talking myself out of it has always been one of my biggest obstacles. Like, no, not now because it's not perfect for this reason, or I shouldn't do this yet because of this and this. And just like constantly talking myself out of something I knew I needed to do. And so for me, that's like definitely been the biggest obstacle to get over.
I think for me, the biggest obstacle personally would be as a creative, I've always been someone who has like these huge ideas and, you know, my mind can go really far, really fast. I think for me, in this season, it's been important to, how they say, keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, can tend to like have these big dreams and these goals, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's like I did my first Zoom live yesterday, and it was like with me being quarantined, I can't go to my studio where I usually shoot, and I have all my nice lights set up, and I'm like, I don't have this, and I have to shoot with this background, and I don't like this, but it's like, you know what? Keep it simple. Again, going back to the why are you doing this, and remembering that, hey, you have a message, you want to touch people, you want to reach people, so stop focusing on you don't have all the big fancy things that that the people you look up to have, you know what I mean? And just keep it simple and do it. And it's been really surprising to see that even when you think you don't have everything together and you don't have, you know, people still enjoy what it is that you have to offer. I feel like once your intentions are right and you give it the best you can. So I think sometimes that holds me back from doing things, like, because I'm like, oh, I don't have this, or I don't have a graphic designer. Listen, sis, figure it out. Make it yourself, do the best you can do, and don't worry about, you know, it being on this level. Because, I mean, there's certain limitations, certainly right now in quarantine. There's certain limitations we have. So I can't stress on, I guess, like a macro level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I ran into that same thing. I was like, I want to start a YouTube channel, but like, I don't have a professional camera. I don't have lighting with me. All of my stuff is back in LA and I'm in Florida right now. So I had to talk myself out of that. And like, I was shocked that even someone like you was surprised that I was filming on a phone.
That first video you did, it was good. Because I was like, girl, you got your camera, I got mine. And it doesn't even matter. The reason people watch that video is because they connected with the message and they connected with you. And your intentions behind it were good. And you put your energy and your positivity into it. So we really need to mess ourselves up. Like, that's basically like overthinking.
So that brings me to my second question that I wanted to ask you is like, when you're avoiding doing something, what do you feel like you tell yourself to justify not doing something?
Oh, you work really hard all the time.
Take a break.
Sometimes it feels like, you know, you're not really getting anywhere. You're not making the progress you want to make. For instance, like if you have a goal of working out or whatever, you're working out every day and then like the scale isn't changing. You don't feel different. You know, those inner voices that kind of come in and tell you like, girl, just hang it up. I mean, I've gone through that so many times. Like anyone who follows me on YouTube knows there's been so many times I've come on here and I've been like, you're not doing it no more.
Oh my God, really?
Girl, people who've been following me for a little while know there's been at least 2 occasions where I'm like, guys, I can't do this anymore. This isn't going the way I want this to go. And like, F y'all.
Wait, why? What happened that got you to the place of I'm done?
I feel like my concerns at that moment were valid and they still are valid. I mean, you know what it is like living in the Bahamas in the entertainment field. It's okay, we don't have an industry, okay? It's like in infancy and a lot of people don't understand what it is that we're doing. We don't have a long history of it. You just get tired of like putting all your heart and soul in something and it's like, it's not clicking. It's not clicking. It's not clicking. And so that can be discouraging, I'm not gonna lie.
Because I think something that I've struggled with is feeling pigeonholed with the content that I'm able to create because I'm a Bahamian. Being scared that if I go too far out of what Bahamians would be interested in watching, that I would be judged. But also not wanting to just dish out content that I know only Bahamians will like because that limits my growth and there's an international market that I obviously want to reach. I can get very easily flustered talking about this because I'm very passionate about it. We are super critical of people in our own community. They will easily enjoy content from someone else who's not a Bahamian and you go and do the same thing and it's like, oh, Tap's so scandalous. She's so vulgar. She's right.
Like, did y'all watch these YouTube girls doing the same thing? And it's just like, we don't get the same energy, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like Bahamians in general are so talented, some of the most talented people. Right, you don't want to get pigeonholed because at the end of the day, facts are facts. When it comes to the business and the financial side of this industry, there's only so much the Bahamian population can offer you. Realistically, there's only 400,000 of us.
In total.
Exactly, in total. You're not going to reach every demographic. Everyone's not going to like you or everyone's not going to be into what you're into. So that cuts your audience down more and more. And then I find that traditionally Bahamians don't financially invest in artists they even like. And I've seen it in my own thing, sis. As many people that I'm thankful for that support me from home, at the same time, getting them to support you in some meaningful ways is hard. Like they will like you.
Yeah.
They won't comment though. They will like you.
Right.
Our merchandise, they're like, eh. And I've seen it happen to so many Bahamian creatives and artists, and it's just like, why we need to branch out, because I'll be honest with you, like recently, the best videos that I've done view-wise in recent times that have been able to generate good income for me have been because Americans and non-Bahamians got on it and made it viral and viable. Like, you know what I mean? Like that CMOS video that I did a couple weeks ago now, people are watching that. Americans that are commenting and engaging with me, I don't feel like our people support as much as they could. There are some who do, and like I don't want to focus on the negative.
It's interesting because as much as Bahamians say that they want to support other Bahamians, and as important as that is to them, it's really difficult to get Bahamians to invest in other Bahamians. It's like we have a hard time putting our people on a platform, even if the platform is well-deserving. The second it's international or it's an American or even a Jamaican or like someone else from the Caribbean, we don't have an issue fangirling. It's this weird thing where it's like we feel like there's only so much space for Bahamian success that if we allow other Bahamians to fill that space, it's threatening someone else's success. And there's room for all of us. That's the thing. There's room for all of us to do our things, to come with our own unique perspective and our voice. But I don't know. I think that's the mentality. And we kind of just describe it as like the black crab syndrome.
But you know what it is? It's a scarcity mindset, which you described. It's a scarcity mindset. You have to get out of that mindset. There's something here for everyone, and everyone has something unique to offer. I've seen memes or whatever where people are like, oh, everybody want to be a vlogger or a photographer now. So to flick what?
Exactly.
Everybody has something to offer. That's what you need to think about when you're thinking about putting yourself out there. Don't worry who's doing what, because at the end of the day, there's nothing new under the sun. You just put your individual fingerprint on it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
And this is something that I hope will give a lot of the viewers motivation. That's like, maybe you're talking yourself out of doing something you want to do, or maybe you're scared you'll look like you're just kind of biting off of something else. You have your own voice and you have your own perspective that is going to be unique. No one's really doing anything that's, like you said, reinventing the wheel. It's just about finding your voice and your purpose in yourself to say something in a way that no one said it before. I hope that that gives someone motivation, because that's such a good point. There's space for everyone to do what they love, whatever that is. If you want to be a photographer, be a photographer. It doesn't matter how many photographers already exist, or vloggers or YouTubers. There's always room for someone else that comes in a unique and a fresh way.
So the other question that I wanted to ask you is, what is the activity that you go to when you're trying to avoid being productive?
Netflix.
What are you watching on Netflix?
Right now, I'm finishing up Money Heist. Drag Race. Do you watch Drag Race?
No, I don't. Wait. Okay, so I have started it, but I haven't gotten far. I'm either watching HGTV.
Old lady.
Exactly. Anything to do with like houses or renovation or like like finance. Like I love watching finance videos.
A little nerd. That's good.
Definitely my biggest distraction of all time is YouTube. I will watch YouTube for 20 hours out of the day, and I haven't turned the TV on yet.
Well, the only thing that I've been watching on YouTube, honestly, recently is, don't judge me, I'm really into...
What? Wait, what are you gonna say?
Extraction videos.
I knew it. My next question for you is, how have you found quarantine to be affecting your productivity? And like, I know obviously everyone's routine is screwed, but how are you personally reacting to the shift? Because I know some people have kind of fallen into a funk, and then other people are like using up every hour of the day to do something.
I'll give myself some credit. I feel like I've been really balanced. I give myself room and space. I'm recording this video with you right now. After this, I'm doing another video. If I don't do anything tomorrow, I don't feel bad about it. It's like, keep reminding myself, y'all, we're in a pandemic. And don't let these freaking YouTube and Instagram gurus make you feel bad and feel like they have the answer and everybody knows what they're doing, because no one knows what the hell they're doing. I have days where I record, content. And then I have days I just focus on FaceTiming friends, catching up with people, doing wellness checks with people, listening to my like affirmations, reading my Bible, watching some kind of motivational something, or just binging Ozark.
That's one thing. You are the definition of a content creator. You are always, at least from my perspective, you are always creating content. That's aspirational for me.
Yeah, but I just don't want people to feel like they have to do all that. Like when I first was doing YouTube, I was like, okay, I'm going to do 3 videos a week. What, girl, I stopped that. I'm down to one now because guess what? Quality is always better than quantity. I will be consistent in terms of not just my output, but the quality of my output. And the only way to do that is to sit down and take my time to craft things and not just slam it together just to say I did it. I don't want to be busy because busy leads to burnout.
Yeah.
I'm productive. To me, being productive is FaceTiming my sister so I can see my niece. Me doing skincare, my skincare routine, I'm sorry, that's productivity as well. I'm taking care of myself.
I think it all boils down to what our priorities are. You use the word balance. Some people's priorities aren't balanced and like can be workaholics, or I don't want to use another word that can come off negative, but like the opposite of a workaholic. That's not a balanced priority. If you care about all of that stuff and having a life that incorporates family just as much as it incorporates like work and career, then there's so much to do. There's never not something to do to be productive if you care about having all of those different things in your life.
A lot of us have associated our value with our productivity and our output. And you need to realize that your value doesn't lie in your job title or what you do. Your value as a person is, am I a kind person? Am I a forgiving person? Am I a nice person? Did I say something positive to someone today? How did I handle this confrontation? We need to shift our value system, and quarantine is forcing us to do that. Because now most people ain't working right now. Like the majority of people I know are laid off. So what makes you valuable? You don't have your job title anymore. You're not manager, senior.
Exactly.
What makes you you? You don't have that title to hide behind anymore.
Yes, and I think that that's why people are sort of crumbling, because they're realizing, oh my God, my value system was so not balanced. And now the only thing I cared about in life and was giving myself to and my time to has been literally ripped away from me. And so now I don't know who I am. I don't know what I have to offer anymore, and kind of having to figure that out from scratch. And I think that that's something positive that we can take away.
If this time has revealed that for you, then it's the perfect time for you to focus on adjusting your habits to live a more healthy and balanced lifestyle. So whatever that means, it's like, you know, like you said, FaceTiming family more often, getting your health and diet in check. Like there's so many different things that we can do to be productive that we can take away from the time in quarantine. It's so easy to look at everything as the glass half empty, but there's so much good that we can take away.
When you're really not feeling motivated or inspired, like really just like don't even want to get out of bed, what is it that you tell yourself to get up and get out of bed and do what you have to do? What do you remind yourself?
I didn't speak on this too much, but I think it is important to have a good tribe around you. Sometimes you're not going to have the strength, or you're not going to feel like you don't. And you need those people in your corner, like real friends who can message you and be like, hey sis, I see you're getting a little down. So that's one aspect that is sometimes helpful. Two, honestly, I just feel like my connection to God, like I take my relationship with God very seriously. That helps me to keep pushing and pressing on. And whatever you magnify is what you will multiply. All the hard times you had before and you were able to get through them. So what says like you can't get through this now? Honestly, it all goes back to remembering my why. If I was doing this for people, I probably would have stopped a long time ago. It doesn't even make sense that I'm still going.
This is what I always say about entertainment. It never makes sense. You have to love it so much that when it stops making sense, you still want to do it.
Yeah, like this.
Because that's what it takes to get anywhere with entertainment.
I feel like this definitely stopped making sense, but I can't stop. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people relate to it, but it feels like breathing. It doesn't feel like something I'm trying to do. I feel like this is who I am. I don't know if a lot of people can relate to that, but that's just how I feel. And it's like, I can't stop. I really feel like I can't. I'm like, obviously no one wants to compare themselves to a roach, but like, you know how they say roaches will be here after the apocalypse? I feel like that. It's like, things get at me and it's like, die. And I'm just like, nope. I'm never gonna die. Like this passion of mine, it will not die. And sometimes I'm just like, are you sure? Like hang this up, girl. Like become a freaking trophy wife.
That's a way better answer than mine. But like that's true for me as well. Obviously, of course, having friends and family and that holds me accountable to what I expressed my goal is. They already are aware of where I want to go and what I want to do. And if I say it out loud, they're not gonna let me get away with not at least trying to achieve it. I think out of everything, that keeps me on track more than anything else. And then secondly, honestly, what I do is I tell myself how much I'm going to regret it if I just don't get up and get to work. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, the time is going to pass regardless. Today is going to end regardless. 30 minutes is going to go by regardless. But when the time has come where you would have finished or accomplished what you set out to do for your goal today, that you know you can meet, it's a deadline that is very like tangible, how are you going to feel when you let that time pass and you, in retrospect, you know you could have just done it? To me, that's the worst feeling in the world. It's like, I should get a workout in real quick before I have to go do this audition, or before I have to go do this meeting, or whatever it may be. And I know that I have 40 minutes, and then 40 minutes go by and I was not doing that thing and I did something else. And I'm like, I could have been done right now. It would have been finished had I just started 40 minutes ago. I hate that feeling so much. So after feeling that a couple of times in life, I just remind myself of that feeling. I'm like, you're going to be so mad when the time comes that you would have been finished and you like didn't start. So that's kind of how I approach that. And it's not as deep, but it gets me through. I'm a kind of person where having a planner, crossing something off of my to-do list, it might be like a little bit of like an OCD thing, but like that gives me so much.
Yes.
That like gives me so much satisfaction. It's like, if you do this, you can cross it off your list. Okay, so we've made it. The last question. How are you on the makeup? I kind of want to compare.
I gotta do all kinds of things.
What advice would you give to other people that are struggling with being motivated and finding inspiration right now?
I think the biggest way to get over that is going to be different for every single person. I think it boils down to, what do you need? What do you need out of life for where you're at and where you want to go? And what is missing? You may have so much, like you might even have all the success in the world. You might have all the money in the world. You might have 3 houses, 5 cars. What is it that you feel like you still need out of life? And that answer is going to look different for every single person, but it takes a hard look in the mirror and a real dose of like honesty with yourself about what you need and what steps it's gonna take to get that. That could be a better relationship with your body. That could be improving your mental health. That could be mending a relationship with a friend. I think when you start to look at life like that, more holistically, like, okay, I do have this is set in place, I'm fine here. What could it be that I feel is missing? Why I'm not finding inspiration and why I'm not motivated in life? When you start to answer those questions, you end up living a way more authentic life. And you really do stop caring what everybody else thinks, because it just feels so good to live in authenticity. And once you've achieved that, there's no feeling that compares to it. It's going to become your life's purpose and your search. And I think that is probably, at least for me, something that gives me the most motivation. What decisions can you make that lead to a more authentic life that gives you more comfort living and walking in your own shoes?
That was amazing. Thank you.
I would say, especially in this time, take things one day at a time. And I know that sounds basic AF, and it sounds like a cliche, but things are usually cliche because they're true. Right now, things are uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 30 days. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. It's out of our control. But we've had systems and these infrastructures in place that have given us a certain comfort level to think we're in control. We've never been in control. Like, never.
Isn't it so funny that this is just revealing how much of an illusion control is?
And that can sound scary, but you literally have no choice but to take it one day at a time. And remember that you're only human. Mind you, don't use that as an excuse to be a shithead. Yeah, just take it one day at a time. And I think the biggest takeaway, if nobody gets anything else, what I said in this video, know your why. If your motivations always come from the outside, you're gonna have a lot of problems in life, I'm sorry to tell you. And at the end of the day, people can praise you in one breath and then the next day criticize you. The foundation and the motivation you have to do things needs to come from within. You shouldn't honestly be moved by criticism or by praise. Not saying you don't take constructive criticism, obviously that's a different thing. So just keep your motivations from within. And also know that in this time, and in any time really, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to rest. That's your body telling you need to recalibrate. And remember that you create your own success. Your success doesn't have to look like what the world tells you it looks like. I think that's where we get tripped up a lot of the time too. So that would be my advice on how to stay motivated. Remember your why, take it one day at a time, and make sure your motivation is coming from the inside, not people or the media or your family or whoever.
I'm so glad we have this conversation.
Me too. We're like doing a virtual collab. This is so innovative. This is a topic I've been wanting to talk about because I feel like it keeps popping up in my life and everyone's life around me.
And I think just getting some more insight, you know, because sometimes when you see the finished product, someone that's worked on a video for like a week, you can start to have this like false view of behind the scenes of what it's like. For people like us, we still need to take breaks. It's not just always go, go, go.
So I feel like that's like important for a lot of people to hear.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Wonderful. I feel like this is the first collab I've done like this on YouTube.
This is my first collab ever on YouTube.
Is really cool.
All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, Tap, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Kind of like a virtual quarantine collab. That was cute. Quarantine collab. Of course, make sure you go check out all of Tap's socials. They're gonna be in the description box. Of course, check out her YouTube videos, her Instagram. She's popping, she's posting on her story every single day.
Tell me more.
If you liked this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment what you want to see next, and also tap on the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload videos twice a week. And I will see you guys in the next video. Your highlight is poppin'.
All dressed up and absolutely no flicking way to go.